Hello guys, this is Vysh. So episode number 15, January 19th, Wednesday, Hindu editorial. So many students are asking like, can the editorial come early in the morning or something before noon time and all. So we are thinking about it. I'll try to prepone the timings because now it will be coming in random timings like 3 o'clock in the evening or 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. That all is based on the workload I have here, okay? Because we have some of the paid courses which are prelims test series, mains test series, and the prelims is nearing. So those are of high priority, and that is why sometimes the free videos which we put in here, it is a little bit delayed, okay? But still whatever is there will remain free. And these lectures, whichever you want, tell me in comment section, because some of the playlists we have kept on halt because your response was not good, okay? And if you're new to this channel, please whatsapp UPSC free to this number, and immediately you will start getting video links every day, okay, including the editorial video links. And in Vysh IAS channel, one more new initiative we are starting is the Hindi lectures we are increasing. Okay, that doesn't mean English lectures will be stopped. English, everything will continue as it is, and Hindi also, because many Hindi medium students suddenly have increased as audience. So for them, we are starting everything in Hindi also. Okay, whatever we have in English, everything. You see, these are all environment in Hindi. Okay, and this economics in Hindi, and this one is the new thing which will start on 28th. Okay, 28th 8 p.m. This will start. That is science and technology in Hindi. Okay, in English already it is there, so don't think like it is not there. Please go and check it. So this one will start, and again every 2 days, every 3 days, it will keep coming, and so like that you will be able to study everything in both English and Hindi free of cost, okay? But again, as I told, a very serious student, you should practice questions, okay? You have to practice prelims test series and mains test series, because I am myself correcting all the mains papers, so I can see the improvement in students when MFTS 1, that is our first test, okay? MFTS means mains full test. So MFTS first to now fourth test is over, so by that time when I evaluate the papers, I see great improvement in the students, okay? So you have to like that join somewhere and improve your prelims and mains skills, okay? So now today's topics, if you see, most of them are political articles and is no use to us, but one or two are important, so we'll see that, okay? The first one, if you see this inflation statistics, so this is about the November month or December month. They're telling inflation goes up, this comes down, so that kind of monthly statistics you don't have to study for your UPSC exams at least, okay? Maybe for other exams they pinpoint and ask you numbers, but you don't need it. You next I think 2 weeks later, yeah, February 1st, the budget will come. That time the annual statistics will come, economic survey will come. That time we'll discuss in detail in the videos or in the test series format, okay? So this video is no use to you. Next one, if you see, tennis, okay? So tennis also, you don't have to study specifically, but because UPSC last year asked about cricket and Olympics and all, maybe at least few Grand Slam titles and all which they have, like they have this Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, US Open. So this kind of things at least you should know, like when it is conducted, and whether there are people who are getting these many titles, or there is a person who got all the titles these many times. That kind of very basic GK, if you can try to write it down anywhere, okay? And just before the prelims, just memorize it, okay? So this happens in this order: this in January, this in June, this in June, July, and this in October, September, okay? And every tournament is played for a 2-week period. So that kind of just statistics, else you don't need it, because this month I am seeing tennis and chess, okay? Both are coming in the editorial repeatedly. So if UPSC want to trouble you, they'll ask you. Third one, if you see Silver Line Project, this last few days, Simply Hindu is playing around with the same article, Kerala politics, and people are not accepting the Silver Line Project, which they are trying semi-high-speed railway from the north to south, Kasaragod to Thiruvananthapuram. But 64,000 crore or something, they're going to take loan for this. So people are not happy, because there are many other public needs which is pending, and you are taking a loan for this thing just to show off a project that we are doing something, okay? So people are not happy, and so protest is going on, different debate is going on. So already for this topic, okay, the technical part of it, we have already made video in Vysh Courses channel. Please go and watch this Kerala Silver Line explained video, okay? So this also I am not discussing. If you see, it's caste politics in UP, the OBC versus EWS versus SC/ST, and everything, like how each party, the BJP party, the Congress party, or whatever party is remaining there, all these people, how they'll use the politics to win the elections, that is there. So this entire page is of no use to us if you see, okay? So I'm not purposely ignoring any article. I'm explaining to you clearly why it is of no use to you, because if it's at least little bit useful, I will be discussing it, okay? Next one, if you see, this is again Telangana politics, okay? So politics, nothing we'll discuss, okay, unless there is something drastic national level news, we won't discuss it. Next one, if you see, it is about the consumer confidence survey, okay, which is a survey conducted by RBI. So results are shown. So they're telling that when the pandemic started, the people's confidence in the market or economy has gone down, okay? And it varies from state to state or people to people. Like you see, Bangalore, Mumbai, and big cities, the confidence have gone down, but in other some like Thiruvananthapuram or Kerala or some other cities and all, it is not gone down. So like that, they are showing a graph and statistics, okay, like which kind of people, or like unemployed people and those people who are in contract jobs and all, they have lost the confidence in the economy. Like that, many things they have just pointed out, but UPSC will not directly ask this, okay? Only the report is published by RBI that you have to study. yesterday. Now these two articles is what we'll discuss. One is the Yemen Crisis. Okay, yesterday also when an article came about the summary of all the international relation event of last year, I told you everything will come separately also later. That time we'll discuss. So Yemen Crisis has come again, which last time also I discussed in I think December month or November month. So this will again be discussed here. Then this is preventing genocide. So hate speech related two articles in detail I already discussed. This is in specific to genocide, okay, which is actually a tail of that, a continuity of that, okay, a continuity of hate speech. So this some international laws are there. So based on that we'll discuss. So this is the agenda for today's Hindu. Okay, so every video is being put at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And in the other channel, Vysh courses also, it will come like that. Okay, meaning at 8 o'clock, if you see today 8 o'clock and tomorrow 8 o'clock, the videos are already scheduled. Okay, these are all current affair items only, which is not in the editorial. Okay, but is important for your UPSC exam. So please see to it that Hindi lectures you see at 8 o'clock, and 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock you watch the English lectures also. Okay, these are all just 6-minute, 8-minute, or maximum 10-minute videos. Okay, in that you will learn the entire item, what is a possible question which can come from that, and why was it in the news. Okay, everything will be covered in detail here. So please subscribe to Vysh courses channel also. It will do only good to you. Okay, there will be no junk videos in these two channels. This is my promise to you. Okay, everything which is useful for you in an analytical way, maybe your CSAT way, these kind of things only will be there, UPSC related. Okay. And again, tell me in comment section which all lectures you are waiting for, because some of the lectures, as I told, we have kept on halt because of the lack of responses, or maybe something is not going right, or people are expecting something else. So because of that, we have stopped or halted it. So please tell me in comment section. Okay. And regarding quiz series also, we will be starting the prelims quiz series nearer to March, April time. Okay, because that is the last 2 months when you have to practice thing every day. Okay. Already, as I told, test series is available. If you are a student of Vysh IAS, you are already getting weekly test, and you are solving 100 questions already from every subject. But still, some people wait only for the free things. So if you are looking for that, you have to wait, because that is the time when we publish. And then again, based on Hindu newspaper also, people were requesting. So I was thinking about today, shall we start something like Hindu editorial based quiz? So that you can tell me in comment section today, so I can think about it. Okay, like whether Hindu editorial specific, like today what article I'm discussing, based on that, like one liner or one word kind of questions, is that possible? Prelims specific, can I pick it up from here? I'll try if you tell me. Okay, so now if you see in the last few weeks, okay, there have been this provocative kind of speeches by certain people in religious assemblies and discussions and all. So it's like calling for the genocide or the slaughter, extermination of Muslim community, the minority communities. So targeting is happening. This part of the article we have already discussed. The hate speech part we have already discussed. Now they are telling about the genocide thing. Okay, so internationally there is a law, okay, Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide of 1948, which India has signed and ratified. So this one is the topic of discussion for this particular article. So in 1946, Cuba, India, Panama, these countries co-sponsored a resolution, okay, which affirmed genocide as a crime under international law. Okay, so this was recognized as a crime under international law, and as a result of this, okay, this resolution, many people came together, many countries came together, and then in 1948 it was introduced, and 1951 it was came into effect, and now more than 150 states, countries are part of this. Okay, now this has an objective to prevent the genocide as well as the punishment of the crime. Both are there. Okay, and some articles they are mentioning, like what are the things which will include in the convention, like obligation not to commit genocide, to prevent genocide, and to punish genocide. Then to enact legislation to give effect to the provisions of the convention, to provide for effective penalties for those who found guilty of criminal conduct, and the obligation to try those charged with genocide in a competent tribunal, meaning you have to take action, you have to make laws domestically. Okay, each country has to do it in their own countries, whoever has ratified. Now the irony is that India was the early sponsor of all these things. Okay, they were introducing it, they were signing it, all these things were there, but later nothing happened in India. Okay, that is what they're telling. However, since the signing of Genocide Convention and ratifying it, to date India has not enacted any legislation in accordance with Article 6 of the Genocide Convention. So India is in violation of its international obligation to criminalize genocide with its domestic law, as per all these articles, and to take all means to ensure the prevention of genocide. So India has not taken any action. Okay, there are no comparable provisions for the prosecution of any mass crimes, least of all genocide. Okay, so we don't have any such things in the Indian Penal Code. If you see, which we have since the British days, there are provisions related to riots, unlawful assembly, promoting enmity between different groups, all these things there, but specifically to the genocide event, we don't have a law or a legislation. Okay, so these all do not pertain to any another aspect of the another key aspect of the Genocide Convention, that is of prevention and creating the conditions in which such hate speech and other associated acts are not allowed to flourish, meaning there is no law to stop these hate speech which are leading to the genocide kind of events. Okay, So now again some examples they have given. Okay, it's not a very big article, just they told about the convention, about India's role, what is happening in India now, and now they're telling some Gambia had initiated this against Myanmar. Okay, and it is in early stages now, so we cannot tell any conclusion. And it's also told that a state that may not be specifically affected can still raise a legal claim on basis of being part of the community of states, meaning because you're part of that convention, you can raise any allegation against any country who is engaging in genocide. You need not be the victim, your people need not be affected, but if in the community anybody is getting affected, you can raise concern against any country. So like that, Gambia has initiated proceedings against Myanmar. Okay, so long back there's some cases where there's Belgium versus Senegal and all. In that it's told, it follows that any state party to the genocide convention, and not only a specifically affected state, may invoke the responsibility of another state party with a view to ascertaining the alleged failure to comply with its obligation. Okay, so this anybody can raise. That is the idea, and that is the statement given by ICJ themselves, or the International Court of Justice themselves have told this. Okay, now again I think, okay, final judgment in some earlier case, they're telling the court found a failure to prevent genocide by Serbia. Okay, so earlier it was failure and all. So in an overall analysis, it is more vital than ever that international legal protections against genocide are incorporated in domestic legislation. Okay, so international fights are going on, so it's better to have your own domestic legislation, and the country itself you have a tribunal, and you are seeing the issues there itself rather than other countries going and raising it in the international platform. Okay, so furthermore, the fact that India has international legal obligations, so it must be rectified, that we are not adhering to that thing, we are not following the convention, it has to be rectified. So only this much is told in this particular article, but you have got some idea that there is a convention and India has ratified it, but India is not following it. Okay, now the second article, Yemen, it is important for your international relations GS2 mains paper, and also for your prelims, because lot of map based question can come, because at least 7 to 10 place names and terrorist group names, many things are mentioned in this article. Okay, so please make a note of all this. So if you see here, this is Saudi Arabia, this is Yemen, and this is Oman. Okay, and these are all part of Asia. And left side, if you see, this is Africa. So Africa and Asia, if you see, this small gap is there. This strait is Bab el Mandab Strait. Okay, Bab el Mandab Strait is connecting Africa to Asia like this, and also it is connecting through this Red Sea to the Arabian Sea. Okay, here Red Sea is there, here Arabian Sea is there, and above Red Sea, what is there? There is the Suez Canal and all, above which Europe is there. Okay, so Europe comes through that, through Suez Canal, and some ships and all will come like this, and it will go through this. Recently, you would remember when a ship got stuck here also, because that much narrow path. Okay, so here that a pirate attack, all those used to happen. Now it is cleared a lot, but it used to happen. Now all these small place names which you see, okay, all these will be mentioned in the article. Okay, here if you see, this is Sana'a is the capital. Okay, this Marib is the energy rich province they have, where lot of oil and gas, everything is there. I think 90% of the country's resources are now coming from this place, so it's very important. And then here this Taiz, okay, Taiz is now captured by someone. Then south here, all these places which you see, Ed and all these things, UAE is now controlling it. Okay, UAE, which is in the right side. Okay, in this map you cannot see, in this tiny map you can see around this point, right, this junction. Somewhere here UAE will be there, so they will be having control here. So everywhere it's fight. Now you have to understand the basic thing is Saudi Arabia, this in Muslim community, they have the Shia community and the Sunni community. Okay, so Saudi Arabia is a Sunni country. Okay, and its rival is who? Rival is like Iran. Iran is a Shia community. Okay, now in this Yemen, there were like North Yemen, South Yemen and all, where people of different majorities are there. In the north side of Yemen, it was full Shia kind of people. Okay, so obviously the Saudi people will not like it. So that Sunni this thing and the Shia this thing fight used to happen, and that's how it all started around 7-8 years back. It started. Okay, so now what is happening is there is a rebel group here. Okay, which is called Houthi rebels, about which in this article we'll discuss. So Houthi rebels is now capturing one by one. Like if you see Taliban captured Afghanistan, same like that. Houthi rebels who are actually Shia. Okay, who are actually supporting Shia. So Iran is also supporting them. And if you see UAE is like double kind of thing. Sometimes it will be supporting Saudi, sometimes it will have its own interest. So all these complicated kind of things is happening in the Middle East. Okay, and but interesting thing is international community, nobody is concerned about it. Okay, they are fighting since years and it's going on. Okay, that is the whole gist of the article. Okay, and here if you see, these are 3-4 countries: Eritrea, Ethiopia, Djibouti and all. This is around like the Horn of Africa, which you call. Okay, so this is a general map. Now again, more maps I'll show you as and when we discuss. So the new year began badly for Yemen. Okay, because the Houthis first hijacked a UAE flagged ship. Okay, the name of the ship is something Roabi, which is in the Red Sea. Okay, in the Red Sea, Houthis captured a ship. So why did they capture the ship? Is they were alleging that it was carrying some military cargo. Okay, so it is against international law, they told, and that is why they captured this thing. Okay, but interesting thing is 7 of its 11 crewmen are Indians. Okay, in the ship there are Indians also, so it's concerning Indians also now. So Saudis retaliated with massive bombardment of Sana'a airport. Okay, so Saudis immediately because Saudi and UAE, I told, they will be supporting each other. Saudi did a bombardment of the Sana'a airport, the capital airport, and diverted a ship carrying fuel to Yemen to its own port, meaning a ship was going to Yemen that they diverted to Saudi's port itself. So because they took this ship, they did bombardment also, and they took another ship which was going to their country. Okay, now the Houthis has refused to release the vessel despite the UNSC resolution is there. Okay, and they criticized UN also, telling like you are siding with the murderers who are violating international law. Okay, they are not listening to UNSC because they are telling they are like one-sided or they are supporting Saudi, that kind of thing. Okay, now as I told, 2 year fighting to take the energy-rich province of Marib has intensified. Okay, as I told, that is where the oil gas is coming. So everybody are fighting for that spot now. Okay, now the Houthis are just 20 kilometers away from the provincial capital, but now face freshly deployed crack troops mobilized by the UAE. Okay, something called Giants Brigade is there, which the UAE is put there. Okay, troops or military groups kind of thing. So now they are fighting with the Houthis there. Okay, and they are moving away from, moving north after taking something called Shabwa province. Okay, so in UPSC, if they ask like Shabwa, Sana, anything is in news, you should know it is in Yemen. Okay, now the war in Yemen, as I told, is completing 7 years in March. And if you see, as of 2021, nearly 350,000 Yemenis have died, 60% dying because of denied food, clean water, and healthcare, and 75% of the people are under poverty. Okay, this was a prelims question. Okay, in prelims, there was a thing like, which of the following countries is facing poverty, malnutrition, and many things in the last few years, and the option was Yemen. Okay, so you should know, like, from editorial, direct prelims question can come. So please be alert. Now, if you see, there was something called Arab Spring and all that in the world history time I will teach you. So something like that was there, and the president, okay, that time, if you see, few people are there, few stakeholders, I put in different color coding. So this president had stepped down in 2012, okay, because of the Arab Spring uprising and all. He had stepped down. I put it in red color. Okay, so he now is staying in there itself, in the country itself, with whatever wealth he has, and his successor is this person. Okay, this Hadi. Okay, this is Saleh and Hadi, like that, you remember. Okay, now the government is weak now. Okay, because this person from outside also, after stepping down also, he was trying to pull down the successor. So this government is weak now. In that gap, okay, in that gap in Sana'a, the capital, the Houthis rebels, they were trying to capture the government. Okay, like we have Taliban capturing Afghanistan, the Houthis are trying to become the government. Okay, so they are representing, as I told, the Zaidi or the Shia community. Okay, who were the marginalized people during the time when this Saleh was ruling. Okay, why they were being suppressed? Because they had pressure from Saudi Arabia. Obviously, Saudi Arabia will put pressure on the leader, and leader will put pressure on the marginalized community, and from that only Houthi rebels came up. Okay, this is the general story. Okay, now the militants of the movement, okay, something Ansarullah, okay, they descended on the capital, and in January 2015 forced the Hadi government to seek exile in Riyadh, meaning the militants and all, they brought down this Hadi also, this person also brought down, and now they are one by one capturing places. This is the story going on. Now large section of Yemeni armed forces who are loyal to Mr. Saleh, okay, they have now joined the Houthis. Okay, so now they will be all fighting together to take province by province. Now, this raised serious concern in Saudi Arabia because Houthis is becoming powerful. Though the Zaydis had few doctrinal or political ties with Iran, the kingdom viewed them as surrogates of the Islamic Republic on the basis of their sectarian affiliation. Okay, so these people earlier did not have any ties with Iran and all, but Iran is also Shia, right? So because of the sectarian affiliation, they see this as a threat. Like Houthis and Iran together will be a threat to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia commenced bombing. Okay, from 2015 they have started. That is why this March it will become 7 years. Okay, in 2022 it will become 7 years. So many people died and many things, that numbers and all you don't need. And during this whole time, Iran Houthi ties have strengthened. Obviously, it will strengthen because of the sectarian affiliation. It has strengthened, even though earlier they did not have any political ties. Now, after 7 years of fighting, the conflict has now mutated into a fierce regional competition for geopolitical advantage. That always happens everywhere. You will start in the name of religion or something, telling like our caste, our minority, our this thing, that thing. It's all drama. Okay. After what happens is 1 year or 2 years, they will understand that, okay, let me capture more and more place. It will become a geopolitical fight. You will need more and more places like USA, Russia, everything will start like that only. First, they will tell capitalism, communism fight. Then they will tell, okay, I need that land also, this land also. Here there is more petrol. Here there is more oil. They are all resources and geopolitically like what to say, greedy people. Okay, this is what happens everywhere. Religion and all is just a cover. Okay, so now there is a Hodeida port also. I think UPSC once asked. It is under Houthi control now. This also UPSC will ask. Okay, like it is related to which country? You should know Yemen. Okay, and it is now blockaded by Saudi Navy. So every port, every city, every province is targeted by both the stakeholders. Okay, not both, actually many stakeholders are there. And again, Taiz I showed in the first map. Okay, Taiz is with the Houthis. and forces from this Al-Islah, the kingdom's Islamist partners, are in the west of the province. So they're just describing who is in the west, east, north, south, and all. Okay, so Hodeidah port is under Houthi control. In the west, there is this Islam kingdom means Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's partners are there in the west, and the south there is UAE, and UAE has a entity, a separatist entity called Southern Transition Council. Okay, and they are controlling the Aden. Aden also in the map. Go and check. Okay, what I showed you, it will be in the south. Okay, in the south it will be there. So UAE is controlling there in the south. In the west there is Saudi Arabia. In the center there is Houthis. Like this, it's all complicated. Okay, now UAE and Saudi Arabia are now engaged in a major territorial reordering of Yemen. Okay, this is why I put yellow, is because this is how UPSC question comes. They'll pick up a statement like this and this are now engaged in major territorial reordering of Yemen. Elucidate. Okay, explain, discuss. That time you have to explain all these things, this complication which is happening there. Okay, mostly UPSC will ask only if India is also involved, but still sometimes it asks. Okay, sometimes a difficult question comes, so you have to know this kind of international events. Now, the former is seeking unchallenged influence over the strategical valuable Bab el-Mandab Strait. Okay, so they are trying to capture that also, because as I told, it's a 30-kilometer thing, 30-kilometer wide, links Asia and Africa, and also through the Suez Canal it connects Europe also, and 10% of the global trade happens through this annually, and by 2050 it is predicted that it will again grow to trillions of dollars, and the GDP also of all those littoral states, meaning including that Africa, Yemen, Asia, Saudi Arabia, their GDP is also from 1.8 trillion to 6.1 trillion it will increase. So you can imagine how much important is that place. Okay, so that is why everybody are fighting for that. Now UAE has now taken control of littoral ports and islands on both sides of the Red Sea. Okay, UAE is very strong there. Even though we hear only like Dubai, tourism, all these things what you see in social media and all. You don't see the military side of UAE. But UAE is actually very active in those areas. They're capturing islands. They are very active in this Eritrea, this Puntland, Somaliland, Aden, Mocha in Yemen. All these places, they are very strong, and their navy, military, everything is there. Okay. Now, while initially the UAE had sought to establish a military presence in the region, its priority now is to develop the ports to make the region a major commercial hub. You know, UAE is always known for the fastest development in the full world. Okay, one is UAE and one is Japan. Okay, they are known for like things which you cannot imagine, or things which you are like feeling a futuristic. They develop first itself. Okay, so that is the thing they are planning, a major commercial hub. Now it retains its objective of protecting the areas from militants and flow of weaponry. Then maintain a military presence at this Perim Island, which is near the Bab el-Mandab. So in the map wise, you should know, okay, Perim Island is near Bab el-Mandab. Then there is Socotra Island, which is in the Yemeni coast. This and all Google and see the map. Okay, simply Google Perim Island map, Socotra Island map. You will exactly see where it is. Okay. Now UAE is also partnering with Israel. Okay, Israel, you know, they'll always have problem when opposite side is someone whom they don't like. So they'll support UAE also. So now they are trying to neutralize any effort by Iran. Okay. So whoever is allies of each other, they come in each team, and this is what happened in the World War time also. World War 1, 2, if you know, it's not like everybody is fighting for something, helping a friend or something. They have some common enemies, so they are taking advantage of the situation. Okay. Now the Saudi geopolitical interest is at the other end of Yemeni territory. Okay. So this I will show you. There is an Al Mahra province, and that is in the Oman side. Okay. So here, if you see, this is Yemen. Okay, and this is Sana'a, the capital. In here, there is this full province is called Al Mahra. Okay, so here also UAE is trying to, UAE, Saudi, everybody are trying to build ports. Okay, Saudi's geopolitical interest is in the other end of the Yemeni territory, the Al Mahra province that abuts Oman's entire southern border and also has a 560-kilometer coastline on the Arabian Sea. So if you get a coast here, right, Saudi, if they get a coast here, see here, this point is touching Saudi only. So from there, they can enter here and they can enter the Arabian Sea very easily. Okay, right now they are going from the right side where Iran is also there. So this way, if you get a access, okay, it will be very good for them. So that is what they are trying to do. Now, Saudi Arabia is also expanding, kingdom is expanding since 2017 by control of Nishtun port. This also I'll show you, Nishtun port, Gaddia port, and 2 border crossings with Oman. Okay, so Saudi's interest is to construct an oil pipeline from its eastern province to Nishtun port on the Arabian Sea by bypassing the Strait of Hormuz, where Iran has a dominant presence. Like I told, if you go more and more east, you have to go through Strait of Hormuz, which is through Iran's presence you have to go. But if you get that area which I showed you, that Al Mahra province and all, where they can set up Nishtun port and all, then they can bypass this thing and get a direct thing. I'll show you the map first. Okay, here if you see, this is Saudi Arabia, this is Yemen, this is Oman, this is Strait of Hormuz. So like this, Saudi is now currently going. Okay, everyone here are going like this. What if you get a place here in Yemen, this area, then Saudi from this east side, they can come through this and directly enter here. Okay, so this is what they're trying. Okay, here there's Bab el Mandab Strait, here is Somalia, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt, all these should be by heart for you. Okay, now here if you see port of Nishtun. So here they are trying to set up that port. Here means here, in this map around here it will come. So here if they get, Saudi can directly come here. Okay, and all these places are important. Okay, Sana'a, port of Salif, Hodeida port, which I told you, Mocha port. Okay, so this any word if comes in UPSC, please don't tell that it is not taught to you. Okay, like this only it will come in news and you have to note it down, or you have to by heart from a prelims test series which we already cover. Okay, so this is the map. Now if you see this thing, okay, this idea, it's not like now. Saudi Arabia since the 1980s is trying for this. Okay, now they are just taking advantage of the ongoing conflict. Kingdom is preparing for a long-term military presence in that province. So the fight for Marib, okay, that last province in northern Yemen, outside Houthi control, will decide the outcome of this 7-year conflict, because Marib is now not yet controlled. Okay, once Houthi get this also, then the entire North Yemen will be under Houthi. Okay, meaning Saudi Arabia will not like it. So now if you see, the Houthis have sought to deter UAE this thing also. UAE supported forces in Marib with drone attacks. So there also some problems are going on. And if you see, they have condemned UAE's efforts to control the shipping lanes in Red and Arabian Sea. Okay, as I told, UAE was controlling, right? They were capturing islands and everything in Red Sea. So that they have condemned, because they are telling UAE is working for US and British interest for capitalism and all these things. And so they are threatening that we will attack airport and all these things in Abu Dhabi. Okay, because Abu Dhabi and all is like very like busiest airports in the world. So there and all they will attack is what they are threatening. Now, victory in this conflict will give the Houthis the financial resources to consolidate their rule over the north of Yemen. Okay, now northern Yemen, which had that Shia majority and had been ruled by that time this Shia imams and all that time, olden times, okay, 60s and 70s, that is what they are trying to regain the power. Okay, so as of now, Houthi game plan seems to be to consolidate itself in the north, put in place a functioning administration with all the resource they get in from Marib if they capture it, and then seek international recognition and humanitarian assistance. Okay, like now Taliban is trying to meet with everyone and get recognition. Same like that, Houthis also, that's the plan. Meaning northern Yemen itself, they want to make it like a separate country. Southern Yemen will be separate. So now if you see, Saudi and UAE will have a divergence there. Okay, UAE may find the de facto partition of this thing acceptable. UAE doesn't care, like North Houthi take, because UAE is concerned about where? Southern Yemen. They don't care about the northern Yemen. Okay, so they won't have any problem, but that will not be acceptable to the kingdom. Okay, because Saudi Arabia in their border, 1000 kilometer, 400 kilometer border is there, that will be now directly reachable for Houthis. Okay, you're understanding. The northern part, if it is under Houthis fully, then it will be challenge for Saudi, but it will be good thing for UAE. So there, their interest will diverge. Till now in one team they are playing. Now later if Marib is gone, that problem will come. Okay. Also here some Lebanese general has predicted that after taking Marib, the Houthis could cross the border to liberate the former Yemeni provinces that are now part of the kingdom. Meaning in Saudi Arabia, there are some areas which were earlier Yemeni provinces. So once Houthi get the entire North Yemen, they will go forward and they will attack Saudi Arabia also. Okay, so continued fighting in Yemen is most likely the prospect. This is going to happen forever. Okay, and because as I told, there is limited interest by the international community, this will remain a forgotten war. Okay. Understood the whole thing. I have tried to explain very nicely. So this is the best way anybody could explain. Okay. So all stakeholders, you will know, many prelims related factual things were there. Hope it's everything clear. Okay. Now again, WhatsApp me, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. We need your support. Only then we can continue this free initiative. Subscribe to both the channels, Vysh IAS and Vysh Courses, and please WhatsApp me. Okay. So thank you and have a nice day.